Because my whole thing every Friday I look forward to is I get takeout, I come home, I get rum, eat my takeout, and watch Mandalorian.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm up to date.
I would be one episode behind, except for the fact that I fell asleep during the previous episode. So
You're dead to me. You fell asleep during Mandalorian.
Dude, I get tired and I just zone.
Well, welcome back to Tupa Talk. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about DC comic books that were made into movies. You'll hear our opinions on what movies we liked out of the latest mix that we're pseudo-calling the DC comic universe, and figuring out what we liked, what we didn't like. Talked about the movies a little bit and the story and the plot. Obviously gave our opinions and see what
Marvel.
We did go into Marvel a little bit, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that was me.
No, it wasn't.
You don't have to believe it. We all know
it. Indeed. Well, enjoy.
Rock and roll.
Hey, Tupads!
Tupads!
So we're back. This week, I believe we're discussing DC comics.
Made into
movies. And what'd you say?
And that's the important part.
Exactly. And in particular, we decided to watch Justice League because, Chris, you hadn't seen it. Jonathan hadn't seen it. And I thought I had seen it. Saw it. But I was like, I'm watching this like for the first time, it felt, and I'm like, wait, I remember part of this. So either I must have just not lasted with me. I mean, I obviously watching it last night, I'm like, okay, some of this looks familiar, but some of it doesn't. And I'm just like, I don't know what happens next. Usually you see a movie, you're like, okay, I know what's coming next. I had no idea. Chris, you didn't watch it because you felt that you weren't going to like it. And why don't you tell why? Before saying anything specific about the movie.
Why didn't I think I was going to?
Yeah, why didn't you want to watch it?
Because of Batman versus Superman.
Okay, but there's other DC films out there, so that
there are, but the guy that Ben Affleck. When Ben Affleck's involved, it's usually going very wrong. If you're ever gonna make a comic book movie, don't have Ben Affleck affiliated with it at all.
Yeah, I don't even really remember him being in this. Again, it probably didn't resonate with me that much, so I don't remember him being in it a whole lot. But to me, it was. Well, before I say my opinion, Jonathan, what did you think of the film? Because did you not watch it because of a certain reason, or you just hadn't gotten around to seeing it?
No, I had seen it. I just didn't realize it. It had been so long. I had seen it because I was trying to watch them all in series at one point.
Right.
And then I think I ended up watching it out of series. Just because of the little tidbits at the end give you insight into the next ones.
Totally
sure.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did.
No.
But.
Okay. So, do you have the, I guess we should go back so we can discuss if you would like first, like the original Batmans and such, because they were technically, the original Supermans, they are DC comics. They aren't part of this new, I don't even know what they're calling it. I mean, Marvel calls it the multiverse.
Right.
I don't know what DC's calling it, but
aren't they calling it like Marvel Universe, DC Universe, same kind of thing?
I don't know. That's why I said
DC Comic Universe.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll come up with some tagline like the MCU.
Sure. Gotcha.
But while none of those are part of it, they're still technically movies made from DC Comics. So I don't know if you wanted to delve into those or strictly kind of
stay
with.
I mean, we specifically watched Justice League recently, but if you
Mhm.
think it's important to talk about the other ones leading up to it before having that conversation, then yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, do you
Jonathan?
need to talk about?
He's
I
like, "Rawr."
He's new. Give him a break.
I
This
feel
is
like
his
the Brady Bunch because now we got
Yeah.
cubes.
second-
Yep, exactly.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, just just like normal conversation, Jonathan, just jump in and interrupt us. It doesn't. You don't have to be polite.
I realize that.
Okay.
I got all that. I was just waiting to see what you guys were talking about, where you were going with anything.
Mhm.
So, I don't really have an opinion either way. I mean, you have the new movies that are more technologically advanced compared to the older ones that were out, but I enjoy most movies anyways.
Yeah,
Where-
you're like me, Jonathan. You don't really necessarily critique it based on the comic book because probably like you haven't touched your comic like me you haven't touched your comic books in years and don't really remember the story they were building. You just
Well, even in the comics, I never got into reading those. I was completely in a different whole scenario in the comics than either one of you.
Yeah, he had G.I. Joe.
all right.
I had the G.I. Joe, I had the Green Arrow.
Well, the Green
There were
Arrow,
a
I think
couple
we
of-
all had.
Yep, I had Green Arrow.
Yep.
That was one of my favorites.
Yep.
But you appreciate a movie for what it is. You don't really care about the story that is being consistent with the comic book. Chris, you are.
it doesn't have to be. How can I put this? Like verbatim,
Right.
but they really need to stay true to. I mean, where they're getting their information from. Like if you're gonna take this character, you can't just willy nilly.
Throw in extras just because you think that that's what's going to make it pop more.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Right.
wow, we'll just have this or this,
Right.
So I think that's probably one of the bigger things. But the problem with with DC is some of their characters, hence Batman, Superman, have been done so many times between movies, television, cartoons, everything. That their movies now are a little different because they don't really have to go through origin stories. And some that do, you're kind of tedious with it
Right.
because you're like, well, we know this backwards and forwards. I mean, even if you're not a comic book fan, everybody now knows where Superman came from. Batman, his origins and such. So it's a little different than say some of the other ones like Marvel's, where like Miss Marvel and stuff, and people had no idea who she even was
Right.
prior to Marvel putting
even-
her in a movie.
Right.
Going on just Aquaman that I started rewatching just a little bit ago. The origins of that one there, you really don't know unless you read the comics.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of Aquaman kind of plays into I think what they did and are doing now with Wonder Woman and such is they're making them, in my opinion, much more powerful than they ever were in the comic books.
Okay. That's fair.
Like on the latest Wonder Woman that's not technically out yet, but it shows her using her lasso on lightning and flying through the sky. It's like, okay, that's new.
Right. Well, same
Yeah,
thing.
she always had the invisible jet. That's how she flew. She couldn't fly before.
Right.
Right.
And
they haven't
actually
even really introduced that yet.
No, I don't think they're gonna.
You don't think so?
Honestly, I don't think they're gonna have an invisible jet. I think they're gonna have some, because I think in the cartoons or the newer comics, she actually can fly. She's much more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you go back to the old cartoons with her, I mean, she had the invisible jet even in that, or even in the TV show with I can never.
Yeah, Linda Carter.
Yep. She had the invisible jet in that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so I guess, yeah. So going with we'll call it the DC universe.
Yeah.
So the first one I believe that came out in the DC universe was Superman or
Man of Steel.
yeah.
Yeah. Because we
Um,
figured out Superman Returns, even though that may
it's a
still
different
be
actor.
it's a different actor. The one Henry Cavill. I'm not going to say it right, but he's in Man of Steel and also Justice League.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that was in Superman, they changed him out right off,
Yeah.
which was
So,
kind of a bummer because I enjoyed him in the role.
yeah, it's really, I don't know. That's the thing. There's so many renditions of it now and stuff. And I didn't have a problem with the Superman movies.
Right.
I thought those were okay. I mean, they weren't, in my opinion, anything like wow, blow you away or anything. But they were, a good Sunday afternoon movie or whatever, or Friday night or whatever. And then I see. So my wife Tricia, as you all know, has always been a huge Batman fan since Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe when the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton came out, she actually had bought some comics of Batman.
That's funny.
They're in my collection now. But one of them was, I remember distinctly, was The Killing Joke, which is a graphic novel and where the Joker kills Robin. It was a huge, big story arc in the comics and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so I totally forgot where I was. See, get off on those tangents.
Well, you started out with Batman, or started out with Man of Steel being the first in the series to come.
Right.
I don't even know what that one particularly was about because it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember what the story was.
That was the retelling of the original.
Was it?
It was the retelling of the original, his origin of coming to Earth and.
Yeah, because they kind of mimic the Reeves movies for 1 and 2, because the second one, The Return, has General Zod and everybody in it. The three.
Yeah.
Yep.
The three from Krypton. Did. So they kind of mirrored the first two.
They threw the twist in there of his son.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
All these movies are sold. I mean, honestly, if you haven't seen it now, that's kind of on you.
Well, yeah, Man of Steel came out in 2013, and Superman Returns was 2006. So that one actually came out before, and I don't even Returns from where I don't even remember. I remember not liking the film that much, or Man of Steel. I get them confused. I wasn't terribly. Because I love the Christopher Reeve movies so much, that's Superman to me. So I wanted to like the new ones and get behind it, understanding it was probably going to be a different story, different take on it.
In the Return, I believe he went searching for any
remnants of Krypton. Yeah.
Oh, okay, and that's what you had said, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you have General Zod and those all come back and everything. But yeah, so those were kind of the framework, if you will, for what they, once Marvel took off and did what they did, they're like, we should do that with our, we'll do it with Justice League. So they started releasing the solo movies like Marvel did. They kind of followed their map work, on how they went about it. And so the first of that, really was
not broken,
Yeah. So I think Batman versus Superman is really the first of that to try to bring in the universe.
Right.
Start the blending.
Yeah. Where they start to have, multiple main characters or superheroes in it.
Right. And how did you like that film, Chris?
I hated that film. No, literally, I halfway through it, Trisha made me go see it. I saw the previews. First off, when I saw Affleck was attached to it, nope, that's a problem. And the only reason I say that, you remember the original Daredevil?
See, I never saw it. Too many people.
I enjoyed that. I
Oh,
enjoyed that a
suck.
lot. I've actually watched that quite a few times.
Yeah, too many
Do
people
you-
told me that they didn't like it, and that's why I never watched it.
So I guess first question is, you probably don't even have a Daredevil comic, do you?
No.
Okay, so let me explain
No.
something. He's not supposed to be in a freaking purple suit. Okay, it's
Yeah, he's
magenta.
supposed to be in blood. In more
Yes,
of a
it's
blood
supposed
red.
to be blood red, and they made it like a magenta purple crap.
Yep.
And I watched it
noticed
behind.
that. I did notice that, and I did know the difference. Just from being around the comics and talking
Yeah,
with you guys and everything else. But
anyway, yeah, I just love the Netflix version of it so much better. Anyway, so and like a lot of them, I think again with that Daredevil movie, they tried to throw too much in there, and it just got kind of bogged down, much like Spider-Man 3 did before the MCU, back when Tobey Maguire was doing Peter Parker, which I loved the first couple. But the third one was just with Venom and Sandman, and they just had way too much going on with the Goblin, everything. Yeah. So it that.
If you think about it, though, what they did there is they went in on the original Batman movies where you had 2 or 3 bad guys in each film. Because the original Batman, you had Penguin.
Nope.
That was the second one.
Yep.
Was Penguin in the second one? So
yeah,
the second one you had Penguin, you had Mr. Cold.
Yeah.
The third one you had Mr. Freeze, Sandman, and Robin.
No. In the second one you had the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy, wasn't it?
No, you're mixing them. That was before. Yeah, you're mixing them. No, the second one had Penguin, Catwoman, and someone else. I can't remember. But again, the second one, I thought it flopped hugely. But again, they tried to put when you can't. The only way, and again, Marvel kind of figured that out, is if you got to do single stories first off to get the origins, so you don't try to jam all their origins into the same movie.
Yeah, because
that's what the problem became.
A really long movie, otherwise.
Yeah. And so you have the origin, of Catwoman, of Penguin, and I forget the other one, all going on, and it just bogs it down.
The Joker. Yeah.
The Joker.
Was he back in the second one?
He was in one of them. I thought.
Well, yeah, the original with Michael Keaton's the Joker. Jack Nicholson plays him. It's classic.
Oh, sorry. Then I'm thinking of someone else. Who did Jim Carrey play?
The Riddler. Yes.
The Riddler.
Yeah.
Riddler.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Jerry.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think it was Riddler, Sandman, and Mr. Freeze in the third one with Robin.
No, because Mr. Freeze was in the same one as Poison Ivy.
Yes.
Okay.
Poison Ivy and Bane.
Okay.
And they twisted that all up, and it was anyway.
Yeah. No, it does. It makes it hard to follow because if you're not a true comic reader like you were, where you see everything and you know all the history in the background, you can probably connect the dots better than all of us learning about the characters in that one movie.
Yeah.
So it does make it a little difficult.
Yeah, so honestly, like I say, and I think Batman versus Superman was their first experiment to try to gel this and make all these movies. Yeah. And again, like I was talking about, I hated it, but I hated it for multiple reasons. I thought the story writing was incredibly bad. There was just so many inconsistencies with the dialogue. In terms of, like, I think back again, I haven't seen that one since I watched it in the theater because I didn't like it so much. But Batman's like, his whole great plan was to lead him through the city. And I'm like, no, just go get the stick. Why you got to lead the massive destruction behind you through a lot of it just didn't make sense.
Well, I didn't like all the hype.
I actually agree.
Yeah.
But the other thing, so there's that one thing. I hated the costume. Batman's suit looked like a paper mache. Okay. Like you took a dummy and just kept adding layer after layer. I mean, it made him look like almost like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man if he worked out.
Right.
Like it was just really bad. Like his costume, I don't, and again, I don't like Affleck in the role.
They tried to do way too much with the costume. He never had anything built like that. until
Right.
later on.
Well, and they also, that was where they decided to synthesize Batman's voice with the costume versus having the actor actually create the two voices.
Talk like this.
Because apparently Affleck's not capable of that. So
I don't know. I think he did it in Justice League.
I believe he did.
Yeah.
see,
Just watched it last night
today. So
Batman was in that so little.
Yeah.
Comparatively, really, as far as what I thought it was going to be. So anyway, so let's.
It was more enjoyable.
Let me just. Yeah, my 2 cents on Batman versus Superman. The biggest problem I had was it was really pumped up as this ultimate battle.
Mhm.
And it was going to be this amazing thing, and that's really what they focused on. And when I watched it, I'm like, it wasn't that exciting a battle. And like you said, I can't really speak to the story or the dialogue because it was so long ago. I just remember walking out of there going, yeah, I'm not impressed. All this hype for that, I'm like, it wasn't that great a battle. And then all I remember is that it all boiled down to
he's dead.
Well, no, him not killing him is because they both had Marthas in their life, It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the story, the dialogue, the costume, a lot of it was just.
The first time I watched it, I wasn't very impressed, and I have watched it again just because I'm like, well, maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance or something.
And I do that with some movies.
It's not something that I have to say I want to go back and watch again.
Right.
Which is not me. I watch all kinds of movies over and over again.
Oh yeah. Ones we like, we watch over and over again.
So that one definitely soured me on the whole DC movies into the universe kind of, that was kind of the segue into it. But then, so I believe Wonder Woman.
That was really well done.
The next one released, and my wife forced me to go see that one.
You like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I did not want to go see it because I thought, but then again, it's totally different director. It wasn't the Zack Snyder, I think, who did Batman versus Superman. And I think he did Suicide Squad.
Oh, see, I like Suicide Squad. Oh, I forgot, Jonathan. That's another one on the list if you want to watch DC, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I enjoyed that one. I like
that one was okay.
I did enjoy it.
I actually didn't care for Will Smith in that one.
I liked him as Deadshot.
I think Margot Robbie kind of stole the movie.
She did.
I mean, she played Harley Quinn incredible.
To a T. Yeah, very well done.
But it's
she was
funny.
Up and down and right at the right moments, and everything was just.
Yeah, she was hilarious. I mean, it was.
She was the kind of crazy the character was supposed to be.
And quite honestly, I loved Jared Leto as the Joker. I couldn't believe they didn't bring him back into the Birds of Prey movie or whatever.
Right.
But I was thinking it was because I absolutely loved him and Harley Quinn in that one, which is kind of funny because Harley Quinn's not even in the original comics.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was
him as the Joker as well.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey I haven't seen yet, so
I
can't comment too much about that one.
That was horrible.
I saw previews and I'm like, because when Jerry mentioned it in one of the other episodes, and I was like, I don't know if I've even seen that. So I had to look it up to see if I had seen it, because I was thinking.
Which one?
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. I wasn't even thinking
that
I was thinking that it was
it was okay.
It goes out on his own. And I can't remember what he's called.
Excuse me.
But so anyway, so I thought Suicide Squad was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, Will Smith's character didn't do anything for me, like how I don't know, it just for whatever reason.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his portrayal.
I enjoyed his portrayal. I thought I liked the way he was just kind of always level-headed throughout the entire film, and no matter which scenario it was. But I always enjoy him as an actor anyways.
Well, yeah, most of his stuff I love. I mean, he's got a lot of great stuff out there. It's just, I don't know. It was just kind of weird on how he just didn't. Like I said, though, I love like Jared Leto's character, the Joker, how he portrayed him, and that whole.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Yeah. So then, so Wonder Woman is what we were talking about.
Yep.
I loved it. The only problem I had with it a little bit was when they're rounding up the team. It was just a little bit too much like Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh, in Justice League, you're saying?
No, in Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Oh. It's been a while since
He doesn't remember.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, the rounding of the team. Yeah, no, I can definitely. I know exactly where you're saying coming from. That it was.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like verbatim. It's like, oh, gonna go out and get 3 guys, make up our team. Here we go, because that's what they did in Captain America in the first one.
Yep. Didn't they pick them both up in the bars too?
Yeah, well, in Wonder Woman, I think they're all in a bar.
Yeah, and they were in Captain America as well.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean,
they went in and they were like, "This is the team."
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Other than that, and that's just a very minute point, but no, I thought Wonder Woman was excellent. So then we move on to Aquaman came out.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Trisha absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
of course she did.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
I did not like the very end, his costuming. I don't know what the dimpling was supposed to be. It looked like a green golf ball. I don't.
Well, isn't that like the original? Was dimpled?
No, the original he was red.
No, he was orange shirt and green pants.
Gloves and boots.
But I thought it was dimpled. I don't know.
Well, there was scales.
Like scales.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But in the movie, it comes off as looking like dimples. Like
I think that's more the camera and the lighting.
Mm.
I'm betting it was the camera and the lighting angles or whatever they did, but
yeah, but he didn't have it on for much, so you got to think they would have looked at it and went, "Does that look like an orange golf ball?" But whatever. I mean, other than that was really good. But again, that's where I think they kind of made him much more powerful than he ever was in the comics. Aquaman, again, in the movies, or I should say in the comics, most of his power obviously comes from the water. So he's more powerful when he's in the water. So that's pretty much where everything takes place in the comics. But to bring him into this, they had to, so he's just, I don't know.
He's always had super strength. It was the speed and the ability to talk to animals. Closer he was to the water, I believe, the stronger he was. So in my opinion, I think from what all the comics and things like that I had watched, cartoons, I shouldn't say comics because I never read those. I think he was pretty spot on when he used to watch Justice League as a kid. He always had the super strength and stuff. It was just his major abilities was when he was in the water. Because I wasn't sure if it was a movie that I was going to enjoy because I never enjoyed him in the comics or in the cartoons, but in the film itself, I've really enjoyed it.
Your take on Aquaman, Jerry?
I enjoyed it. I wasn't in awe of it. It's like if I had to watch it again, I don't necessarily have to watch it again. I mean, I found it amusing, but it wasn't anything that really awed me to be, I got to see that again. I didn't dislike it. I just felt that it was okay. Yeah. I liked him in, what was the movie you first see Aquaman in?
Aquaman.
No, I thought that was
Justice League.
No, that's
that came out after.
No,
it didn't.
Yeah,
after Aquaman, it did. Yes.
No, it didn't, because right in Aquaman, and the only reason I say it is because I just got to that point because I said I was watching it tonight. The princess is talking to him and says, "Well, you made your point when you attacked the bad guy." I can't even think of the bad guy's name. he brought the Trident back to
Steppenwolf.
Atlantis. He brings the Trident with him back to Atlantis to go after his brother. His Trident was in Atlantis. He got the Trident in Justice League when he went down and got the Trident in his outfit to help fight the bad guy.
He's right. Aquaman came out in 2018. Justice League came out in 2017.
Huh.
Yep. My cousin Earl just tried to call. My cousin Earl just tried to call me, and let him know why I'm ignoring him.
That's okay.
You
We're
don't
used to
really
being
need a
on your
reason.
phone anyways.
But so then that leads us, I believe, then to Justice League would have been before Aquaman, but
Yeah.
So what did you think of Justice League?
I enjoyed it. Going back to the Batman versus Superman, I didn't enjoy that one as much, but I enjoyed the whole story behind this and how it was bringing in the Amazons with the Atlanteans and all of that. But again, Batman's suit, I think, was a little bit overstacked. He was...
they still haven't fixed that.
Yeah, he doubled in size.
Yeah.
He always looked like he was just might as well bring in RoboCop.
Yeah, his suit has been awful since it was Zack Snyder that did that one, and I think Justice League, and then they switched. Apparently, I had read somewhere that Affleck said he wasn't going to do anymore unless he could be in control of the projects, because he hated the direction Zack Snyder took him. Now, how much was one or the other, don't know.
Sure.
But either way.
You know who the next Batman's supposed to be?
I didn't know they were switching.
Yeah. I'm blanking on his name, but Edward from Twilight.
I did hear that.
Yeah, Pat. Oh, I just had it too. Anyway, yeah, I've heard he's the next Batman.
Yes, I did hear that. So I wonder if Affleck wasn't getting his way and he just decided, but maybe they'll fix the suit.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah.
Really?
Robert Pattinson. There is a trailer, I think.
Oh, for it? Yes.
I haven't watched it.
that yet.
I think I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll have to Google it later.
So
well, Justice League, for me, just before we go off topic, Justice League for me was okay. Kind of like Aquaman. I'm like, okay, there was some humor in it. I giggled at a couple of things and wasn't in awe by it. But it was like Superman died, and I don't even know how that happened.
that was at the end of Superman versus
Superman.
Yeah, that was at the end of that because of the Kryptonian poisoning or whatever that Batman came up with.
Okay, then I didn't.
Or kryptonite. Sorry, kryptonite poisoning.
Didn't like that film, so didn't really remember any of the plot or anything about it. I figured it had to. Yeah.
Useless information.
So, to me, Justice League was them finding dead, cranky Batman or Superman and bringing him in and a part of the team. I don't know. It was kind of a weird storyline for me.
Well, as you were watching the movie, they were talking about bringing Superman back. You kind of caught a couple tidbits that Batman killed him when Wonder Woman's like, well, if you're there and he sees you, he's going to kill you.
Well, yeah, and he goes up to him and says, you don't want me alive, or you don't want me dead, but you don't want me alive, or something like that.
Yeah. You didn't want me alive, now you don't want me dead. I don't know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or what you want of me, something like that.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed Justice League. I didn't think it was phenomenal, but I thought it was very good. I think the writing in that one was much, much better than it was in Batman versus Superman. The story, like John was talking about, was much more intricate, a lot going on. And there was a lot less Batman in it. So that probably didn't hurt.
you also got a little bit more origin with Cyborg.
Yeah.
Sure.
I thought he came out really well. And it was, even with the backstory of him, you still stayed on topic without throwing too much extra crap in there that you didn't really need to try to make it a gangbuster where you already were in that with just doing a superhero movie.
Right. Yep. So
So,
yeah, no,
you liked
I was.
So you liked it?
Yeah, I enjoyed that one actually.
Okay. Because you didn't watch it for a long time because you didn't think you were going to.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because Affleck was in it.
Do you not like him in any movie or just not?
No.
Movies?
You know what it is? He's awesome when he is a side role. So where he's kind of like, there but not carrying the movie.
Yep.
So like Good Will Hunting, with Matt Damon. He's there and he's great in it, but he's not carrying it. They're not relying on him to carry the movie.
Did you ever see Paycheck?
No.
I thought that was really well done. It was an interesting. You've seen it, Jonathan?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was just actually going to ask him about that myself, and when you asked it, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's a lead character in that one, but I thought it was really, really well done.
Well, it's a good story, right? It basically has the intrigue, the mystery. Basically, he's not a redesigner.
He's a reverse engineer.
So he takes a product and he reverse engineers it to see how it was built, sells it to someone, and they basically take him in. They
erase his memory.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what he did. He just gets a massive paycheck for it.
Yeah.
Right.
So he doesn't remember anything about it. But of course, now they want to kill him, and he's lost all his money that they supposedly paid him.
Kind of like a Total Recall kind of scenario.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you should give it a try. It's older. It's got Uma Thurman in it. I forget who else, but yeah, it's well done. It's a good story. It's different, and I thought he did well on that.
I'll check it out. Yeah, but so yeah, I don't know. He just not my favorite.
Fair enough.
But no, So I don't know. I was excited to see Wonder Woman 1984. Now I just feel like everything they're doing is copying something Marvel's already done, right? Because Captain Marvel was 1985 or 6, I think, was when it was supposed to be. So I don't know why just go with what you got going,
or bring it current.
Yeah, because it's going to be a lot of it's going to be that same kind of thing. Where in Captain Marvel, you're going to have the humor of someone not from that time era, living in it, so to speak, going through the motions in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they all traveled back to Captain America.
Wow, he was prior to that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the 40s, I think, the original.
Yes. Yeah, it was back.
But he got frozen.
40s, something like that.
Yeah,
because frozen in time and.
Well, he got frozen and his ship went down in the Arctic, so they found him and thawed him out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
so what about I thought of another DC one that we talked about Suicide Squad.
Right, Birds of Prey. We sort of talked about tiny bit. I mean, that one was one I was looking forward to because of the characters I enjoyed in Suicide Squad. Excuse me, and it just didn't happen. Like I thought sure they'd have Jared Leto bring back his role as the Joker or something, and
right. That's what I was going to say. The new Joker, isn't that would be part of DC as well,
yes.
right?
No. Yes, it is, but it's not part of this superhero universe.
Justice League superhero, because the Joker. But I could see them obviously bringing him in, but you never saw it, right? Because you didn't.
No.
You didn't.
The whole premise doesn't make sense to me.
So you might as well expand upon that for people who wouldn't know.
Well, and it's okay.
So
So
we're up to the Joker, and Chris hasn't seen it. Jerry has, and neither have I.
You haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either.
okay,
Yeah.
but you saw the previews for it, I'm assuming.
I did see the previews. I
Okay.
thought it looked good from the previews, but
Now,
I haven't caught it for free yet.
so Jerry saw it, so I had talked to Jerry. I said, okay, explain to me because I haven't seen it, and I'm only going off the previews. But the previews make him out to be something of a simpleton, somebody a little lower on the IQ scale, right?
Yeah, that's the way I got it from the preview.
Okay, and so we talked, Jerry, and you're like, yeah, he's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So this is my problem.
It's more about the pain and the. I don't know what he's diagnosed with. I can't remember what he specifically has, but the crazy in him, it's kind of the darkness of the crazy that's in him.
Right,
Go ahead.
but
That's
aside
not the way he comes about, ever.
Right.
He's
Right. It's kind of an origin story.
well, yeah, no,
yeah, but they're rewriting him then.
in the
Right.
comics, the Joker was very dark, and that's where the whole
Yeah.
Dark Knight and blah blah blah
Yeah.
in the comics. But the problem is, Batman, in pretty much every form of media that we have him in, is considered a very high intelligent person. He makes most of his gadgets now. I know they had Fox in the trilogy that did with Christian Bale, where he actually came up with a lot of the inventions and stuff. But for the most part, through the comics and most of the movies, he's a self-made man,
Mm-hmm.
and he's extremely intelligent.
Mhm.
His arch nemesis is the Joker. Like, it's his number one. So how is it Batman can't apprehend a simpleton? It just doesn't work.
Right.
Like, if you want to do that, call it somebody else. Call it something else. Don't make it the Joker.
Right.
No, do the Riddler or something.
Yeah, because the Joker is his arch nemesis. It's like Superman's Lex Luthor. It's it's like if you had a Superman movie and Lex Luthor's working at the Burger Boy. You want fries with that? You're gonna go, what?
Exactly.
So that was why I hadn't watched that one.
And again, Jonathan, you might appreciate it from a cinematic standpoint. I appreciated it from a cinematic standpoint, and I liked if Chris is obviously. I think Chris is right in what he's saying. It's not a true portrayal of the Joker because I do not see.
Can we replay that again?
No, I'm going to be editing that.
He's going to edit that part out.
I'm going to edit it so it's going to say Chris is not right. No, I
Show's done, folks. Thanks for coming.
It looks like a movie that I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying it. From what they're portraying just from the preview, they're making him out as it's an origins, but they're not even going to give him the origin that he should be having. And
what are you saying? What origin should he have?
Well, the Batman creates him during a fight. That's where he falls in the vat and goes more mentally ill, and that's also what disfigures his face. He's been that way in each one of the movies that he's come in.
Yeah, I believe in the comic it was originally to some effect like that, which is why that's kind of the storyline.
Sounds familiar, but yeah.
He falls in a vat of chemical waste or something.
Right.
And for them to take somebody and...
Because I'm confusing that with Two-Face.
Oh, yeah, no, that's totally different. He gets burned.
That's it. He gets burned. Yeah.
Yep. The Joker falls in, because remember in Harley Quinn?
Yep.
He pushes her into the vat?
Yep.
No, she goes on her own accord.
Yes, that's right. He's in love with her.
That's debatable. No, for sure. All I was saying is that it was an interesting story of someone who's, I don't even know how to say it.
It's a cool character piece.
It's a creation showing a origin point from a certain unstable mental state kind of thing into something.
Right.
But like you said, how are you going to turn that into a mastermind, evil mastermind that's going to go up against Batman? Maybe that's not their intention. Maybe it's a whole nother direction they're
Then
going
you
in.
don't call it the Joker.
Exactly.
I guess that's my issue with it. They took one thing, and again, that's where I have a problem, where they take something and twist it to where it's unrecognizable. Don't call it that then. Call it something else.
Yeah, give it a different name. Give it a name more appropriate to what you're doing, not something that's already out there just to name it to try to make the sales.
Yep, they do it for the name grab.
Oh, of course. Joker in the parallel universe.
Right. Yeah.
But even if they did that, that would be a different scenario.
Right.
Yeah, that one would actually be a little easier to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so on the similar, not that it's DC or Marvel or anything like that, but Transformers, when they made Bumblebee a Corvette instead of a Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah, I had problems with that.
I figured you would.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with that.
They paid homage though, so they had it. It was almost. It was in the original, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, I think the Transformers in general, in the first one mostly, they stayed very true to the characters for the most part. Again, a lot of the cars ended up being different because it's who's going to pay. They had to get the movie made. So, Jaguar paid a lot. Okay, Jazz is a Jaguar, not a Porsche now.
Yeah.
You got to have some of that, and I get that. It's the things they changed just because.
Right.
So.
I don't like this original. Let's just make it this instead.
Right. Well, and it was hilarious. I watched, I think I told you this once, Jerry. And I watched it was a documentary about the making of the new Superman.
Oh, okay.
Way back when it was new, 2003 or whatever you said, 6, whenever it came out.
Yep.
Prior to that, Nicolas Cage had been casted to be Superman.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember you saying that.
Okay, yeah, and they went so far, so this documentary kind of followed it, and they have cut scenes with Nicolas doing some lines and this and that, and they had the writer of it, and he meets with the executive, and the executive takes his story. He goes, "Oh, we really like your story. This is great. Now, basically, change everything." Like, the guy goes into detail about it because it was like his project and stuff. And it showed the mentality of executives in the movie industry prior to Marvel. Because Marvel, you actually had the comic book people making the movie.
Right.
So they were much more, and we'll have a Marvel day and get into that. But they were much more true to the characters because they actually called them in. And the reason I bring up this documentary, because at one point the executive in an interview actually says, because somebody's, they're in a board meeting about this, and one says, "Well, why don't we call up so-and-so that worked on the comic and stuff?" And the head honcho's reply is, "Well, why would we do that?" I'm like, because you're dealing with his shit he created. He might know it a little better than you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, you also had, for Marvel, right, you had Stan Lee, who created most of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, him and Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
There were a few, but he was in on all the big ones.
Yeah, and DC, I don't think, has such a name, right? They're all different people.
Right.
Yeah, I think each one is a different creator.
Yeah, because you got to remember now, most of the Marvel ones, and again, I don't want to go bore people with the history of Marvel. It did start out as Marvel Comics. It was called something else. But originally, DC, a lot of theirs were created way, way back. So like Batman, I think, came out in the 40s. His first appearance, I think, was in Detective Comics. So he had been around forever. And likewise, Superman was actually created by somebody else, and DC ended up getting the rights to it and stuff.
Interesting.
But there's much older than Marvel's, whereas Stan Lee kind of changed the entire face of Marvel, and Jack Kirby and a few other ones. It wasn't like Stan Lee was the only one.
No.
But
you associate him with.
Yes, you do because of So,
Just
but
because of how well known he is, and then they put him in his own role in the little bits in each movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, his little cameo, little homage to him, because they, the studios and everybody is making millions and millions and millions off from these now. And Stan, he wasn't really a well-paid guy until, but see, before Marvel with Iron Man, with the first Iron Man, prior to that, they were selling off like DC to studios to make movies. So the studios would buy, and like with the X-Men, for instance, Fox had bought the rights to the X-Men from Marvel prior to them having their own studio, obviously. But it was contingent. It was like if it goes X amount of years without a movie, the rights would revert back. So that's why you ended up with quite a few crappy X-Men movies, because they just had to put something out or they were going to lose the rights back.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter now because now Disney bought Fox. So so Marvel's got all of their stuff back. So I'm hoping they redo the X-Men in the MCU, with in a true film like they've done, like, with Iron Man and Captain America and stuff, because I think it would be just incredible.
Yeah.
Somehow we got on Marvel.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about, another time. But
well, that's because you can do nothing but always revert back to Marvel.
No.
Nay.
Always. Nay.
Keep thinking. You'll figure it out eventually. Might be in another episode, but you'll catch on.
Yeah, well, but it was just funny because watching that documentary on that they called it The Death of Superman, because obviously that film never got made.
Right.
But it just kind of highlighted the attitude of movie executives when they talked about comic book material. They just considered it childish and didn't really think much to it. So.
Yeah. So we've talked about
We left off on Birds of Prey.
Yeah, Birds of Prey. Well, I think that was the last one. You haven't seen it, right?
I think it is the last one.
I have not. I haven't seen it. I gave my tidbit, and you guys.
Yeah.
And then we kind of bounced.
Yeah. Well, Birds of Prey, for me, I watched it. Again, not a bell ringer for me. I enjoyed it. It was interesting, but I like Suicide Squad better.
Oh, most definitely. I can watch Suicide Squad. I don't think I'd ever watch Birds of Prey again.
Yeah.
Again, they threw a bunch of characters in, and then they were just done really corny.
Yeah.
From the preview itself that I watched, because you guys mentioned it in one of the other episodes, and I was like, oh, I got to look at this. So I went on and just watched the preview, and I'm like, okay, that's why it didn't ring a bell, because it doesn't even look appealing in the preview. The preview just looks like it's mismatched.
Yeah, well, and it's funny, too, because we went to go see it, like, really early, because we were excited because of Suicide Squad. So we're like, yeah, everybody in the group wanted to see it, so we all went to go see it. And I was sitting next to Chuck, and, like, 10 minutes in, I'm like, man, this is going to be bad. He's like, give it a chance. Half hour in, I'm like, he's still giving it a chance? He's like, I was like, dude, come on. This is bad. He's like, okay, it's bad.
Different. Yeah.
But I think that pretty much covers DC.
That covers DC for the newer ones, obviously, in whatever we're calling, because obviously you got the ones before, like Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and
the original Batman.
Whatever the third one was called. Didn't like that one.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, with Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't really do much for me. Wow.
Wow.
They did a lot more for me back when they were originally released. Going back and watching them now, I'm kind of like, look at them and go, well, that's kind of a corny suit, or that's kind of this, but it's just what what was available to them at that time of making it compared to now.
Oh, sure. I don't mean from any technical aspect. I mean, having gone through it, I certainly don't pick a movie apart because of, I have a lot more respect for anything that gets made and gets out there, after having tried to do it myself. And, just knowing that, the bigger scale, the bigger the budget, the more problems, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So, to come out with anything, I certainly, I don't know, certain movies, I look for that impact, that,
Wow factor.
yeah, like, The Dark Knight was just so well done. I mean, to me, that's a Joker movie, not a Batman movie. It's just, I feel he stole that episode, or that movie from Batman, because I just enjoyed his character so much. You're looking like a deer in headlights there, Chris.
Me? No, I'm just listening to your commentary.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for Chris to jump in and kind of pick it apart, everything you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. What did you like so much about the one with Bane? I don't remember what it was called.
Well, no, again, it wasn't a wow thing. I enjoyed all three of them. I enjoyed Christian Bale's version of Batman and Bruce Wayne. It's one of the few where I think he did both of them really well.
I appreciate that.
I agree with you. Heath Ledger did a phenomenal job as the Joker, and to be honest, I think Jared Leto took a lot from that.
Yeah, maybe,
because it's very in retrospect. If you look at them both, they are similar. Now, obviously, their makeups and all that were completely different, but their attitude of that wild craziness on a spur of the moment kind of thing. Heath Ledger kind of brought that into the character.
Yeah.
Because Jack Nicholson's was crazy, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Not that.
It wasn't that maniacal kind of crazy that like Heath brought to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just, for some reason, the story didn't have that climactic ending. For me, I like that roller coaster ride. The movie takes you through all of this and then comes out and just has a really feel good ending.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be emotional. It just, there is emotion, depending on the impactfulness of it. For me, Guardians of the Galaxy, and again, that's Marvel. But, that first one had such an amazing, heartfelt ending, that just was really cool, and that's what I liked.
Well, see, I really love the storytelling, though. I thought the story in the third one in the Dark Knight trilogy was amazing, because I liked the whole Bane's backstory and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and how he had to go through it, and then the twist at the end with Bane not being the person you think it is,
right?
Which I thought was really cool.
That was, I have to totally agree with that. It was, and even finding out the backstory as you're going through the movie, they didn't do it all at once. It was in little tidbits here and there, so it didn't distract you from what was going on in the rest of the film as it was progressing.
And nerd alert. So Bane is the one that breaks Batman's back in the comics. So that's why they have that little thing where he
breaks his back.
Yeah, I don't know that he fully breaks it, does he?
I don't remember.
He does, because he's basically kind of paralyzed, and they fix him down in the dungeon.
Right. Well, that's my point. If your back is broken, I don't think you can fix it.
Not in today's world, I don't think.
Right. Well, maybe in Batman, they're able to or whatever. But no, it was just cool because I like it when they keep the main points of certain things the same.
Okay, I'll revert back to a different movie, but didn't Bruce Lee have his back broken in The Dragon?
In
traction and everything for so long, and
he had something broken. Yeah,
he did. So I guess Trisha actually would be the one to bring into this, but it depends on where on the back it's broke. I think because I'm just
Sure.
remembering this.
Yeah, I
As
would
far
say
as what's repairable and what's not.
Yeah. I know if your spinal column,
if your spinal column is broken, but
Is
not your
severed.
spinal cord,
Right. If your
Right.
cord is
has to
severed,
do
it's
with the
over.
cord.
yeah.
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 But again, too, the farther up you go, I think the worse it is
Sure.
Yes.
as far as being able to function afterwards.
Right.
I would have to agree, but again, Trisha would be more of the
Yeah,
expert.
she definitely would be the
us.
one to
Yeah.
talk to for
But again,
anatomy.
we're talking movies, so
Right. Anything
Yeah.
anything's
goes.
possible in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
in
mean,
a
I guess
comic
you
book.
could look up the legitimate history on Bruce Lee to see
hmm
if he just injured his back gravely or if he had actually broke it.
Right.
But he went through months and months and months of traction in the movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't, yeah.
Not to jump movies or genres or anything else, but
No, that's
Or
fine.
pretty much all the above.
it was a reference that I could bring up that I could.
No, that's a good call. Yeah.
Was it?
The second time being
Nobody's asking you.
Uh, well, I think that does cover
Oh,
it.
that more than covers it, I think.
Yeah,
You might have to trim that down.
we'll see. I don't spend a lot of time editing it as long as there's not a lot of pauses and dead air and stuff and
Dead air.
I just let it go. I guess we should sign off to our intros and outros.
Ah.
You're not getting out of it.
What? I gotta go, man. They're yelling at me.
Yeah. Way too bad.
Too bad.
Anchor, that's how you can get paid. You can advertise for something, and obviously Anchor's the tool I use because you can record using it, but you can also use it to put your podcast up like we do, take the video out, obviously, of this, put the audio on there, and then you can add sponsors in there in the beginning,
Right.
middle of the end. However you cut up your audio, and then you make money on those sponsors for every time somebody listens to it.
Right.
It's like a penny a
Yeah, I'm
listen or
not
something.
thinking this is not for money.
No, but
We are not going to make money doing this.
I've already made 27 cents.
Oh, there's my outro. Thank you for enjoying Stupid Talk. We just made 28 cents.
Thank you for listening.
See, I liked it better when we did it like a day or two later. See, like a week or a month later is too long, but like a day or two later is
No, but that makes editing a bitch. This is easier. I can just take it off and slap it together and be done with it. Keep bitching. I'm going to make you edit them.